Hey girl, hey, welcome to my channel, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Leek and thank you for stopping by. So today I want to share with you guys all the books that I've used throughout nursing school, and I am in my last semester of nursing school, guys, so I've used a lot of books. So what I'm going to do is tell you guys the books that I've liked, the books that I can kind of do without, and the ones that I live by. And there are some books that, guys, I use it in every class. So most of the books that I refer to are actually PDF versions of the textbook or reference book because I am a paperless student. I've been a paperless student for over a year now, and if you aren't a paperless student, why? You know? So I always make fun of my friends. I'm like, girl, why do you take that book around? You can be taking this around instead of taking this around. So I say that to say, in the description bar below, I'm going to put all the physical copies of the books that I use, the prices of the books, the description of the books, and the edition. So with the edition, when this video hits the platform, it's going to be whatever edition that I'm using at the moment, not the newest edition or the oldest edition or whatever. It's just the edition that I'm using at the time, right? Make sense? Okay. I'm going to split this video into two parts. The first part being reference books, the books that I refer to when I'm taking my notes, listening to my lectures, or going to class. These are the books that I refer to. The second part is going to be books that I use for questions. Where do I find the best questions? All right, let's get into it. So book number one, the first book is going to be Illustrated Study Guide NCLEX-RN Examination. This book, I'm bringing it up first because this is the first book that I've ever picked up when I started using reference books. And I picked up this book because my mentor went to the same school that I went to, and she said that an instructor referred this book to her. So I was like, okay, I'll try it. The mistake that I made with this book was not understanding the material before I tried to open this book, and it was overwhelming at the time because I think I was in my first med-surg and I didn't understand the contents of the book. So that was the first time I've used it. She lived by the book, she loved the book, and obviously one of the instructors referred the book, so it must have been a good book. For me, it really didn't work. At the time, I never went back into the book, but I could tell you at the time I felt like the questions were really hard, but I thought the questions were really hard because I didn't understand the information before I tried to get into the book, right? Makes sense? Yeah, now to think about it. So that was book number one. I'm not gonna grade it because I don't think that's fair to judge a book that I really didn't dive too much into now that I'm in my last semester versus being in my first semester. So that was that. But the second book, the second reference book that I ever picked up, that book was SAUNDERS NCLEX Examination 7th Edition. Guys, I love this book. I don't know how much more different it was from the first book, but I can tell you guys that I lived by this book. I also used it during my first med-surg, and why did I lie? Oh, I did. No, I did. It was my first med-surg, and I love this book. For my textbook, we use Honin. So when I tell you I would read my textbook for med-surg, and then I would go to my reference book, the highlighted information I felt was the same. Like, it went word for word. So whatever the textbook would say, I'd be reading, and then whatever the highlights were word for word in this Saunders book. I love this book. I've used it in Med-Surg 1, 2, OB 1, 2. I just use it for my mental health. Like, I love this book. The downside to this book a little bit would be the questions. I felt like the questions weren't hard enough. So if you're going through this book and you're answering all the questions correctly, you're like, oh, I got this down pat. No, sis, these questions are meant for you to understand the material, not to test your nursing knowledge, or application questions, I guess the right word would be, right? I guess. Okay. So for this one, I would definitely give this a 4.5 out of 5. This is a have book. I love this book. This book also has an online portion that I use. It doesn't come with the PDF version. I have the PDF version and I have the hard copy. So for the hard copy, there's like a scratch off portion where you can get an online version. They have a bunch of questions. I've used the questions. I like those questions. They're okay as well. I would definitely try to do those online questions as well. All right, next up on my list is Medical Surgical. I'm trying to remember the whole name. Medical Surgical Nursing Made Easy. So with this book, I used it. I don't know. I just couldn't get jiggy with the book. I felt like the book just had too much information and not enough information. It just wasn't the information that I was looking for. It was supposed to be made easy, but honestly to me it was not. I don't know. And it wasn't cohesive, and I think because I'm such a like a organized and A personality, and I like it like this and this, and this book isn't designed like that. It's not organized like that. It's kind of messy. I think that's what it was for me, and that's why I didn't really like the book or use the book as much. There's no questions in the book, so this is just a reference book. All right, next up on my list is Pharmacology Made Easy. Now this book, it's only fair that I mention this book because I know quite a few people who live by this book really like this book. Once again, I think it's just the incredibly made easy books just don't work with my personality. That's why I don't use them that much, but I know people that live by them. Same thing for the fluid and electrolytes. I had a friend refer that book to me because they felt like it really helped them, but once again, it didn't help me. But it's only fair to mention these books because they worked for other people. So what works for me might not work for you, but I want you guys to get all the information that's out there. If you are not in nursing school yet, if you are in your first or second semester and you still haven't gotten it down packed, this book I recommend for you. This book is for you. It is called Test Success. Test Success is made by the David Q&A series, and they have a bunch of success books. I use a lot of them, but this one in particular is to help you before you start nursing school or if you're having a hard time in nursing school. And this book was recommended to me by my instructors. I love this book. You guys should use it. I haven't read it since my first year of nursing school, and I took a lot of information out of it. I didn't read the whole book, and that's honest. I read chapters 1 through 7, 7 being the most important chapter that you can read. Guys, like, no lie, I highlight in this book. I took notes from this book. I think that's what this paper was. What this book teaches you is how to answer nursing questions, time management, what to expect from nursing school. Everything is in this book, and I just completely recommend it. So I'm gonna read off some of the chapters for you so you guys can understand what it is that this book is really entails. So chapter 1 is about empowerment. So it's about the different habits you have, how to change your habits, and what habits do you need while in nursing school. Boom. Chapter 2 is about critical thinking and breaking down your critical thinking and teaching you how to critically think. Chapter 3 is a biggie, and it's going to be very important. It's about time management and how to break down time management. This is where I learned about the 168 hours that you have in a week, and that is literally what I base my schedule on even up to today. And I use it in my personal life along with using it in my school life as well. Chapter 4 is about studying techniques, what different studying techniques is out there. Like, you know, we're all different types of learners and things. Definitely a good chapter to read. Gonna skip over some. And then chapter 7, guys, is very important. It's about test taking techniques, how to pull out different words, how to understand the different answers, how do you know which answer is the correct answer. Like, it breaks all that down for you. All in all, it's a good book. If you don't buy any other book, buy this book. Guys, so I just want to say that these reference books that I use should not be your only source. Also, I listen to my PowerPoint, look through my textbooks, watch YouTube videos. all of that is inclusive. You should not just use these books. It should not be your only source. I promise you, I made that mistake when I first started using reference books. No go. Okay, so we finally got to the question book section, and in this section I'm going to talk to you guys about question books. Question books are books that only have questions in them. They don't have explanations unless it's rationales about the questions. So what I mean is it's question 1, question 2, question 3. When you go to the answer section, it answers the question of question 1, question 2, question 3. This is not like the reference books where they give you additional information before they get to the questions. Got it? All right, cool. So I'm going to bundle up 3 books. They are MED-SURG Success, Ped Success, Maternity and Newborn Success. I love the David Q&A series books. I feel like these questions are very challenging. They are helpful. The rationales are great. I love this book, no lie. All 3, they're great. No, I don't have anything bad to say about them, guys. So now we go to the Pharmacology Success book. So the Pharmacology Success book, why I didn't like this book, it was because it was MED-SURG. So my pharmacology classes have a little bit of MED-SURG, but it's more so just fact-based. It's what are the side effects? What is the indications? It's really, do you know what this drug is, what this drug does, and how does it work? Alright, so we're finally at the last book, and this book is called LIPPINCOTT Q&A Review. I love this book just as much as I love the Saunders book. The questions in this book are so challenging. I love answering the questions out of this book. I would literally go through my Saunders questions. I'm like, ooh, I'm getting this, I'm getting this, I'm gonna pass this test. And then I go ahead and I open my LIPPINCOTT book and I get so discouraged, guys. I was getting so discouraged, I wanted to shut the book because I'm like, these questions are challenging. But you know, it just makes you know that you still have things to work on. The rationales are really good as well. This book makes you think. Alright guys, so I just want to say this. If the reference book or question book that you are using is not challenging you, if the questions are not hard, find another reference book, because you want a book that is going to challenge you, not give you false hope, because I promise you these nursing questions are hard and it's not gonna be easy. It's not gonna be easy. Pro tip, if you are a paperless user, just make sure that you go online and look at the PDF version before you buy the physical copy, because they are definitely cheaper PDF. And if you are a person that uses physical copies, that's okay too. I'm going to leave the information in the description bar below so that you guys can buy them. And if you haven't already, like this video. If you like this video, subscribe to my channel and follow me on Instagram at @leak. And thank you guys for stopping by. Leak out.